Hello, friend. Today I'm reviewing a book called Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson M.D. And this is kind of a business book. I think a lot of businesses use it to teach their employees a lesson and to structure their business by. And it's kind of a fairy tale. It's like I guess like a big metaphor or something. And the story is about four characters. Two of them are mice, and one mouse is called Sniff. The other one is Scurry. And then there's two little people who are like humans, but the size of a mouse, just really little people. And one is called Hem and one is called Haw. And they all live in a maze. And I guess their purpose in life is to run through the maze and try and find cheese. So at the start of the story, they every day they put on their jogging suit and their jogging shoes, and they run around trying to find some cheese. And they have different methods. The mouse Sniff. He has a really good nose, and he smells and tries to figure out the direction that the cheese is in. And then Scurry is really fast, so he runs ahead and checks all the different corridors and stuff, trying to find this cheese to eat. And then the human mini people, Hem and Haw, they rationalize, and they're more intelligent and intellectual. So they develop plans and strategies on where to find the cheese. So one day, the mice, they find this place called Cheese Station C, and it turns out there's like a huge supply of cheese there, and they're really stoked. And then the little humans also find it, and they're all just loving it, eating the cheese. And then the mice just continue with their little ritual. Every day they run to Cheese Station C and get it. But the little human people, they move their house right next to Cheese Station C and just move into Cheese Station C, and they're just loving it. And then the mice notice that slowly the cheese that they find in Cheese Station C is getting smaller and smaller, and the humans don't really notice it. They're just so stoked and comfortable, and they don't even notice what it happens. But one day there's no more cheese in Cheese Station C, so the mice, they just book it out of there and do their little cheese finding thing. And eventually they find another cheese station. I forget what it was called. I forget. Anyways, but the humans, the mini humans, they get really resentful, and they're really pissed off that the cheese is gone, and they're yelling, "Why do I deserve this?" and just super angry. And then but they stay there, and they keep checking every day because they're sure the cheese will come back. And they eventually they start getting weak because they're not eating any cheese. And then they get fearful. They're afraid to go look for more cheese because there might not be any out there in the maze, or there might be dangerous things in the maze. So they just get really afraid, and they're afraid, and they try different stuff. But they're just staying in Cheese Station C. And then one day, the person, Haw, decides, he just laughs at himself. He's like, "Ha ha, I'm being so dumb. I'm just gonna go look for more cheese." But the other one says no, he doesn't want cheese, or he doesn't want to look for more cheese. He thinks it eventually will come back. And so Haw goes and he finds a little bit of cheese and brings some back to his buddy Hem, and he says nah, he doesn't want to try new cheese. He just wants the old cheese that he was used to and familiar with. And so Ha continues on in the maze, and eventually he finds this great cheese station that has all this delicious new cheese, and he meets up with his old friends, the mice, and he thinks about his friend, and he says, well, his friend's just going to have to do it on himself. And anyways, he had written all these little inspirational knowledge messages all throughout the maze, so his friend can, if he decides to look for a new cheese, he can follow in his footsteps and look at what he wrote on the wall and stuff like this. And I think this is a really neat story. It's a good metaphor. Afterwards, it talks about people discussing the cheese story at a reunion. But I apply it to my own life, and like, I'm trying to learn internet marketing, and there's certain things I've done and made money with, and then the money dries up. This company EPN, for example, I was making some money with them, and then they changed their policy. All of a sudden, nobody's making money with them anymore, and so I shut down the majority of the work I was doing for them, but I kept up like one little division of my company, still promoting their stuff, and I do check it every couple days. I check it, hoping that cheese will be back there. but what I learned from this story is just to move on and look for new cheese, and cheese being money and what makes you happy and everything. So I just need to move on and find new money and happiness elsewhere. And then also it applies to my personal life and trying to find a relationship and all this. I get resentful about things that I've seen or have happened in the past, and the story just teaches you to move on and enjoy the adventure of finding new money and happiness and everything. And so it's a really neat story. Who Moved My Cheese? I think you should pick it up. Apparently there's like a little animated movie about it too, but definitely read it and enjoy it, and keep looking for that new cheese. Thanks.